Welcome back to r/RedditDetectives, where people on Reddit solve actual crimes and mysteries. And in today's story, OP is trying to find his long-lost twin sister, and it seems like his family has a dark secret. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, I found a human tooth in the lint trap. I found a human tooth. Almost a year ago, I was doing a bunch of laundry, and when I cleaned out the lint trap in the dryer, there was a broken tooth in it. It is clearly an adult tooth that has some dental work done on it. It looks like it might be a veneer that broke off with a piece of real tooth still inside. I had a couple and their baby staying with me during that time, so I checked and it did not belong to them or anyone they knew. I also checked with friends and family who had been in the house or yard, but no one knew anything about where it might have come from. I cleaned the lint trap in between every load of laundry, and the load that had been drying before I found the tooth was all blankets I use on my dog's beds around the house. I thought maybe my dog had found it and brought it in, but he's just not the type of dog that picks up random stuff unless it is obviously food and carries it around. He is practically bald, so it would not have stuck in his fur. I also don't take him anywhere off leash, and I definitely would have noticed if he had picked anything up on a walk. My family has owned the house for about 5 years now, and the house was remodeled before we moved in. It is hard to imagine a tooth being somewhere in the house all that time and then ending up in the laundry. I guess most people would just throw it away and forget about it, but I was raised by a major true crime fan, so I cannot just forget about finding a mysterious bit of human. I'm not sure what, if anything, I can do to figure it out, but I am open to suggestions. I did post this in r/mystery, and some folks suggested that I call law enforcement, which I had of course considered, but I was worried they would just laugh and think it was a waste of time. I also hoped some kind of explanation would surface if I asked friends and waited, but no such luck, so I called the non-emergency line and made a report. I am waiting for a callback in the next 48 hours. In the meantime, anyone have any ideas for how to identify it? Maybe a dentist out there can tell us more about the tooth or the dental work done on it. Here is a link to photos of the toothpicks, no pun intended. Where the hell did this tooth come from and whom does it belong to? And guys, here you can see a picture of the tooth in question. Update: the police department came out. I was shocked they actually did, and they did not even look at it. They just said there isn't anything they can do with it. I laughed and apologized for wasting their time, and they left. I think the thrift store clothing theory is the most likely. I have really enjoyed interacting with everyone and all of your theories, so thanks for your comments. And people in the comments said, so is this washer/dryer new to you? Because while it is unlikely, I could see the tooth potentially getting lodged somewhere in the workings of one of the machines in the past and finally being jiggled loose by years of laundry loads only to wind up in your laundry. There's a lot of weird little crevices in both machines. And someone else said, okay, first of all, it is definitely 2 teeth. It looks a lot like a bridge/crown/veneer. I don't think you should call law enforcement. There's some explanation for it, but what that is, I doubt you will ever know. I think your concerns that law enforcement will just laugh at you are baseless, but I don't think they will be interested whatsoever. And someone else said, just for your interest, I work in dental and sometimes teeth with crowns/bridges break if not cared for properly, and when they do, the person will often put it in their pocket to hold onto it and bring it in to the dentist. Sometimes it can be re-cemented if the crown just came off but the tooth did not break, but if the tooth broke it likely could not be put back in. Which then might have caused the person to put the crown/tooth part back into their pocket, since the dentist can use it to fix the tooth. If I had to guess, I would guess that is what happened. The bridge was unstable in the mouth, it broke off, they put it in their pocket and forgot to take it out when washing clothes. And guys, unfortunately, there's no real solution or answer to this story. However, I looked through some further comments of the author of the story, and it seems like the author enjoys buying secondhand clothes, so I guess that would cover the thrift store theory, which is probably the most likely thing that happened. And the next one is titled, Mysterious Box of Plants and Jewelry Posted Through My Door in the Night. Okay, so this morning I woke up and my mom was like, "Hey, come look at what was left on the balcony and posted through the door last night." Someone had left a box of 2 lily plants, an orchid mist, a shot glass, a comb, a unicorn ornament and a bird feeder on our balcony. We live in a flat, the balcony leads to the front door. They had also posted about 30 pieces of jewelry in individual Ziploc baggies through our letterbox. There was no note and someone has obviously posted this themselves, definitely not delivered by Royal Mail, Amazon, etc. Everyone we could think of doing this has denied it so far. I don't think they got the wrong address because my only neighbor is 2 35-year-old men. Our home is also tucked away and hard to find. When we order food they can never find the house, so whoever left it for us. So my birthday is on Sunday and the conclusion me and my friend have come to is that it must be for me. The comb is made for afro hair, I am mixed race and my mom is white, and I love houseplants. I also love mystery, so the whole layout of this shows it is someone who knows me. Any family friends who could have done this would have gotten my mom in on this, but she just seems just as stumped as me. The jewelry is from China, kind of like AliExpress style packaging. Everything else appears to be bought locally. How the hell do I go about figuring this out? Is this for me? There's no clues as to who left this. Has this happened to anyone else? And a user in the comments said, "So it is just you and your mom in the flat? Do you know your dad?" Without knowing you nor the details of your life, the gift sounds like they came from someone who knows you well, but is not part of your day-to-day life, like an estranged father. And someone else suggested, maybe one of your family members / friends got someone you don't know to deliver a box as a birthday gift but didn't want anyone to know. They probably didn't tell your mom about this, so when you get the box it would look more real of a reaction from your mom. This is just an opinion though, this is my first response, so it might be kind of bad. And then OP clarified, "Thanks for everyone's ideas, so the mystery was solved today and it was someone I do know, I just wasn't thinking big enough. My best friend is like a sister to me, and when her uncle was very ill, she lived with me, he was her carer, and now we are older and she has her own place, but it was her uncle. Good old Uncle C left the mystery box. I never would have thought of him as he lives a few towns over, only guessed it as I saw my best friend today and was talking about the box. She pretended she knew nothing for hours and I caught her smiling and knew she had something to do with it. I was concerned as this year has been the year of mysterious seeds from China, however it is a nice and wholesome end." And by the way guys, I'm not exactly sure what OP is talking about here when she talks about mysterious seeds from China. If anyone has a clue, please let me know in the comments. In addition, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you enjoy my content. Thank you so much in advance, this helps my channel tremendously. And the next one is also from r/RBI/RedditDetectives and it is titled, "I think I have a twin." First, I want to share some suspicions I have. Second, I know this will sound like the plot of The Parent Trap, please don't write me off. Let's start with the basics. Dad left when I was 3. From what I have gathered, it was a non-violent yet ugly situation of loathing between the two. Mom has only talked about it once and I suspect she regrets telling me. I'm a 24-year-old male, by the way. My earliest 2 memories include a girl. In the first, we are in a room in my maternal grandparents' house, deciding that we are shy and don't want to talk to people, so when they ask our age, we will simply hold up 3 fingers. I will never forget that moment, partly because I think it is the first time I ever held up 3 fingers at the same time. It was a new sensation. But she was there, a girl. I have ruled everything out. My grandmother's peers, neighbors, none of them had kids that age. There's simply no reason for this girl to exist. She is in another memory, a similar one, probably from the same time. This was one I forgot until recently. I work in marketing now. There's an old indoor sports center with 2 soccer fields / hockey rinks and a gym. In addition, there is offices, old arcade games, a place for concessions and a daycare center. They have been closed for a while, but we're planning a big upswing pre-COVID. Our agency was going to give them a push and I visited a little under a year ago to take some stills. As soon as I walked in, the memory hit me, my grandmother dropping us off at the daycare center inside. Us. I remembered it so vividly, most of the lights were off so the indoor fields looked like a dark ocean. The gym lights were on and she must have been going to physical therapy. And she dropped the two of us off. I know it was the girl from my 3 memory. It stuck with me, but I did not chase the thought. It must have been some girl after all, there's no pictures of her and no family member had ever brought it up. Then again, it is the exact same situation with my dad, whoever and wherever he is. Could he have taken her and my mom got me? I want to pursue this because one of the last things my grandmother ever said to me before she passed last fall sent chills down my spine. She was talking through the window of her home and I was masked up and keeping my safe distance. She knew things were winding down and her mind was not very sharp anymore, but she said, "You have grown up so much. You were so small. Back then, both of you were." I instinctively replied, "Both who?" But she recoiled from answering as if she remembered not to say something. We helped clean her house after she passed away, Mom and I dug through some photos. Photos I had never seen but didn't tell me anything new except for the same girl in the background of 3 of them. She is swimming in the pool, running in the park and searching for Easter eggs at church. Is it her? I don't know. There's no pictures of my dad, and if they wanted to keep my potential sister a secret, I can understand she would not be in any, but would it be possible that my grandma kept some where she was slightly in the picture, whether intentional or not? What should my first step be? Talk with my mom? I don't want to seem crazy to her. I have a stepdad, but we are not too close since he came into the picture when I was a pre-teen. Who knows if he knows anything? I imagine my dad and sister are out there somewhere. Do you think I have enough to support that belief? And a user in the comments suggested, you want the long form birth certificate. It might also just be called an official copy. It is a standard request because this is a requirement for a US passport. You can likely go to your local county vital statistics office, depending on the lockdown, and get a copy the same day. And then another user in the comments gave some very good advice. I obviously don't know your family, so take this with a grain of salt. Here it goes. Mom and dad splitting, each taking a toddler and never speaking again just seems so far from likely. I cannot speak for fathers, but I just cannot imagine a mother being willing to give up her daughter but keep her son. But I don't think it is unlikely that this girl you remember might be your sister, your twin or another close family member. Here are my theories. She was your twin and she passed away. She was your half-sister and she left with your dad. She was someone else, cousin, close family friend, etc. who your grandmother cared for. Cousin would make most sense. The story could be more complex though. I have heard of people learning later in life that they spend time away from their parents for whatever reason. For example, maybe you lived at your grandmother's house for a short time because your parents were struggling. This little girl could have been a neighbor or a kid your grandmother babysat. Or maybe she was your sister but she was younger or older and one of you were confused about your age like a 3-year-old easily could have been. I have heard of adults who find out later in life that they had a sibling who either died before they were born or when they were young, so memories like you have would make sense. And now the conclusion to the I think I have a twin story. I cannot thank everyone for the support and for the overwhelming agreement that I should pull my birth certificate. Once I had the free time to do so, I got the copy. Sure enough, I am one of one, no twin. The girl from my memories and possibly the photos still nagged at me. Enough was enough and I decided to do what many of you also suggested, honest talk with my mom. I got the chance to sit down with her over dinner. It was tough convincing her not to bring my stepdad, but with my girlfriend out for the night, I managed to convince her it could be mother-son time. Then I hit her with the question, do I have a sister? Her reaction was not what I expected. It was almost like she was glad. Why do you ask? I told her everything I told you guys, my memories, grandma's slip up, and I showed her the photos we took from grandma's house. She was silent for a second. Well, that would be your half-sister. She asked if I was ready and told me the whole story of her and my dad, filling over the gaps, and well, it is kind of bad. My mom and I were a second family. My dad and half-sister's mom were married and were family friends. Dad cheated with my mom and the timing could not have been more perfect. My half-sister and I were born within a month and mom knew we were on the side and continued to go along with it, and my grandma would babysit both of us. This is the time where all the memories and photos come from. When we were about 3, my half-sister's mom got wise to the truth and insisted her family move away and cut off all contact. Obviously, that is exactly what happened. Mom was not happy as she liked the arrangement and took it like a bad breakup. Mom and grandma, the only two who knew who my dad was, decided to not tell me. In a bit of not crappy news though, he has allegedly been financially supporting us the whole time, just a bit here and there, but enough to make my life as comfortable as it was. Then mom told me their names. She wants to be left out of it if I try to make contact, but I'm not sure I will just yet. That is a personal thing to figure out and I think I will take my time. But some social media searching led me to my half-sister's profile. I broke down in tears when I saw it because even 20 years later I recognized her. So she is not my twin, but my half-sister is out there and she is exactly who I remember / thought she was. Thank you for all the support. And I would say, guys, that is a half wholesome, half heartbreaking story if you ask me. And you know, way back in the past on TV, they had these shows where people were searching for their long lost brother, sister, sometimes even father, and in the end they actually managed to find the people missing with the power of TV, essentially. For some reason though, lately I have never seen these types of shows again. And the next one is not from r/RedditDetectives, but instead it is a little bonus story posted on r/RipeStories by user FoxShort, and it is titled The Wild Hillbilly Police Chase. It was so fun seeing the story in the video, I thought I would share another. This story is from just after my husband and I moved here from a city he moved for a job. It is a serene day, Kansas, the sky is clear and the wind is blowing like wild as it always does. We decided to go to Arby's for lunch, and yes, even a tiny town has fast food, and that is when we see it. In the vacant lot next door is a truck, but not just any truck, think of the most run-down, rickety, rusted truck you have ever seen. Then take away the hood of the engine, add about 10 suitcases on top and a lawnmower in the back and about half a dozen ratchet straps. To say this truck is held together with chicken wire and hope is a gracious understatement. It was a humorous sight, but not as much as the people who blew into town who drive said truck. The deep rural salt of the earth type, these people look like those old prospectors in old western films. Beards down to their chest, wild looks in their eyes, and a strange fascination with anything valuable you might have with you or on you. They took small jobs around town for a bit of cash. Here in Kansas, this kind of thing happens. It's no big deal. Have them mow your lawn and throw them at $10 and they are happy as can be, and you don't have to go out in the 114-degree heat. So this truck was in that same spot every day for 2 weeks. It caught a lot of attention, including from the cops. First week, a notice sticker to move the truck. Second week, a final notice sticker to move the truck. Third week, lo and behold, the truck is gone. We all assumed they had blown out of town as quickly as they had come. We were wrong. 2 days after the truck is missing, there is shouts from downtown in the middle of the day and sirens start wiring around the streets. We are at the museum eating lunch another day, our Friday lunch tradition, when we see this truck going 90 miles per hour down the main street of the town. Now a thing about this town, it takes about 7 minutes to go from one side to the other, about 15 minutes to go all the way around it. Remember that. This truck whizzes by, followed by 2 cop cars. 15 minutes go by, the truck whizzes by again, followed by 3 cop cars. 15 minutes go by, the truck is now followed by 5 cop cars, including cars from the neighboring town who thought they would join in the chase. This truck drives around and around the town 5 times before it finally runs out of gas. They stop at a motel where they had been staying and close the door as if that would keep the cops away. They were of course arrested and the truck was impounded again. Now the story came out later that afternoon from the police chief. These guys had broken into the police impound lot in the middle of the day and stole their truck back. Obviously, the police noticed them and started chasing them around and around town. Apparently, these guys forgot that gas makes your car go and eventually ran out. They were in the county jail for a few days, but their story lives on in infamy in town. The truck in question. And yeah guys, I'm not exactly sure what is wrong with that truck because I see these kinds of trucks daily here in Thailand. But honestly, very good story. Thank you for posting on r/ripe stories. And guys, unfortunately, we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.